Welcome to Family Matters, sponsored by MAPS Manor Parts Solution. My name is Oswald Saw. I'll be your host. MAPS program includes counseling and transitional housing services. The transitional house we call the Phoenix House. In our last show, we had the honor to hear from Charles Bonner and Leo Moose, two of our current clients. Today's show, we have a special guest, Jules Flett, which we call a graduate from the transitional house. He was also, if not the first of our clients, he was probably the second. So, Jules, welcome to Family Matters. How are you doing? So where are you now, Jules? I hear you have a job currently.
Yes, I'm currently working with Mama WeTech. Very good job there.
And you're in their restaurant, I believe, correct?
Well, it's not a restaurant yet.
No.
It's just some catering.
Okay. Okay. What do you do there?
I I help out. I help the chefs. I assist them with preparing the meals, making sandwiches, cleaning up dishes. Everything almost.
Everything. Everything. I'll make sure I tell your boss that too, that you do everything in there. Jules,
All around the
let's
kitchen.
yeah, let's go back to your experience with the Phoenix House. I believe you were one of our first clients at the Phoenix House. But even a step back more, where are you from, Jules?
I am from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. My reserve is Nelson House.
Okay. And how long were you at NCN? Did you grew up there?
I was I was off and on there till I was 15.
Okay.
Still off and on.
Okay. What are some of your experiences growing up?
My good experiences or my bad experiences?
Let's actually, you know what? Let's talk about both because that's what made you into the person you are now. So, tell us a little bit about both of your experiences.
Well, my alcohol problem was very bad. It came to the point where I was drinking almost every day,
All right.
or whenever I can get my hands on a bottle. And today I just can't stand stuff. I really encouraged myself to get a grip of my social well-being and start hanging around with the right people. And it's not that I have bad friends. It was just everybody was drinking, and I didn't like that environment.
Hmm.
So I wanted to get out, but I couldn't find any resources. Like, it's very important for people out there to have their resources, and for other people to tell them about the resources that are available to them. Because without other people's advice, they'll always be on the streets and doing nothing, having no way of getting a grip on their well-being.
Do you recall how you heard about the Maps Phoenix House? How did you um, get there in the first place?
Well, I was I was on the streets, and then I just heard about it, and I was at the AFM They told me about it.
Okay. Okay. So for guys that have similar experiences as you, what are some of the advice that you can provide? Because you do have a lot of advice you can give people. You are a person that's walked this path for a long time. You have managed to get to a point in your life where you've managed to stay sober for a long time. What are some of the things that you would advise to other people in your situation?
I can advise them that alcohol is a killer, and I've been through so much. I've lost so many friends. I've lost so many family. It's unbearable to think that my family could be the next to go down that line, which I don't want. Very strongly, I'm so hurt, like how alcohol is a big impact on people, and people, they just don't want to listen about what other people are going through inside, and how emotional it is for for parents. Uh,
Do you find, Jules, that is a day-to-day challenge for you? How are you coping with some of the
oh, for sure, every day is a challenge to me. Every single day, because every time I go anywhere, I'm I am focused on people that are drinking and having a good time, and I don't know where that puts me. I feel kind of lost.
do you find that it's been helpful for you to be able, even though you are no longer at the Phoenix House, to be able to have some like Michelle to be able to talk to at times as you,
Oh,
yeah.
definitely, yes.
uh,
It's always good to talk with Michelle because sometimes I feel turning to the Phoenix House is always good for me. Like I've been there for 6 years. Okay, five. Been there for 5 years. I had one slip. Lost my job. Now I'm back on track quit drinking for another 3.5 years. So I'm gonna continue my journey and hopefully, not hopefully, I will continue to quit drinking.
Well, Jules, and I think the amazing part is, as you had just mentioned, that even when you had that slip up, you kept trying, and you came back,
Yes.
and I think that's wise words for people, that even if you do have your trip ups, that as long as you keep going at it. So I thank you for your time. Do you have any parting advice to anyone when it comes to addictions, or when it comes to seeking out help? If you feel that you are somewhat overwhelmed.
Well, my advice is uh, alcohol does kill, and it will. I've lost too many friends, and it took me so long to realize that alcohol is a killer. I just advise the people that quit, quit alcohol and do it for your family, and most of all, do it for yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you. And you've been hearing Jules Flett, one of our graduates from the Phoenix House, sharing his experience of his journey and his continuous journey as he continues on a day-to-day basis to address his addictions. And Jules, thank you for sharing your story with us. We will now be talking to Michelle Nicholsaw, who is the director for MAPS. You've heard her name mentioned by all three of our guests, Charles, Leo, and Jules. She's been the one that's been providing counseling to these individuals. Michelle, welcome. And can you give me a bit of a recap as to what the Phoenix House does as a service?
So the Phoenix House provides a safe place for men to come in to get their lives back who choose a life of sobriety. Most men come in because they're referred by a person or a place like AFM because they've done the treatment program and are ready now to go into a safe place and get their lives back. Before the Phoenix House, there was no place in Thompson for men to go. So once they finished the 26, 27-day program, they would go back to the streets
Right.
if they didn't have a home. So this gave them a place to go and to get their things together. And yeah.
Well, one of the most interesting things I've found hearing from Charles and Leo and Jules is how it's a continuous struggle. It's not something at times that comes easy when you're trying to deal with addictions. And you've had guys who have had their slip-ups, but who've come back again. Tell us a little bit about what are some of the daily challenges that these guys have to deal with.
I think probably the biggest challenge is family and friends finding out where they are. A lot of times the guys will go in the house and not tell anybody because this is their place where they're trying to do better. So if other people know where they are, they tend to come to the house and interfere and try to get them to come back into a place where they would start drinking again. So for most of the guys is they find it challenge to stay away from downtown areas or from family members or friends who just keep saying, come on back for another brewski, if that's be the case.
Yeah, and that really highlights the huge challenge that a lot of these guys have to deal with is that usually, of course, your family, your friends are a source of comfort, of stability in your life. But at the same time, if at times they are the ones that have maybe helped to support that past lifestyle that has made them come where they're at the Phoenix House, that puts that extra challenge on them. Have you ever spoken to family members about what kind of supports that they can provide for guys that are clients of yours?
Yeah, we've had when guys are ready to go, of course, there's reunification, family, and a lot of time that is the guy's goal is to get back what they had. It's to have a relationship with their children, um, their aunts, their uncles, people who were kind of done with their lifestyle. So family members see how well they're doing now and now want to be a part of their lives. So they get that time to come in and talk to the guys and rebuild relationships. We have a place in the house that they can do that. With COVID, there has been some restrictions, of course, lately, but when we get back to normal, the new normal, that will also be available.
Well, I know from you being a counselor for MAPS for over 10 years, you have a lot of things to tell us about your experiences. So we're going to have you back for one entire show. But in regards to just summarizing what you've heard and what you've seen in regards to the time you've been at MAPS, what are some parting advice that you can give to people who are hearing this program right now, who are going through the same type of challenges? What would you advise them to do?
If you're ready to change your life, there's people out there to support that. We have places like the AFM. There's a detox. If you're really in dire strait and you just can't stop. I mean, also the Emerge department will also bring people there to start them off and find a place for them to go. But if you're really ready and serious about getting sober, the supports are there. All you have to do is ask, pick up the phone, and people will be there to help you.
Okay, well, thank you.
I think one of the most important things that people must remember is that people do well when they do things. So having a program that has structure is really important for the guys, and that's why we've done so well at the transitional house. Is that there's guys who come in, they've never cooked before. They don't know how to budget money. They've never worked. So providing those skills and helping people even learning to make a bed is important to get their lives back. The small teaching things that you can teach people helps them to get their self-esteem back and get back on that road to where they want to be. Work is very, very important and getting those working skills. And people need to trust that although people didn't do so well before in their lives, they can do well again and they are doing well and they're good workers. And I think that's the strongest message I would like for people to listen to is that hire these guys. They can work. They're darn good workers and they deserve that chance.
Yes, in fact, MAPS for close to 7 years, I believe, did the uh, debrief program,
Yes.
where we had guys from the house in partnership with the city of Thompson and Manitoba Hydro, went out there and every summer took driftwood from off the shoreline of the river. And I think that went very well. I do hear what you're saying about keeping the activity level up. What is the risk when a person gets bored or doesn't have anything to do?
So when people get bored, they start feeling sorry for themselves. They get in their heads and they tend to go back to familiar faces and places that makes them feel a bit better, and it could end up being relapsing because they have nothing else better to do. So getting busy and being busy is very important for everybody, especially those with addictions.
And I think it's also very important from what I've heard from all the guests is that uh, you could relapse. It happens often, but it doesn't mean you throw in the towel. A lot of these guys have relapsed, but they've come back again and they've tried again, and quite often they've been very successful. And talk about successful. Tell us about the success rates of the Phoenix House for men.
So I'm very proud to say that the success rate for the Phoenix House is 93% success rate, which is huge. We've had guys who've relapsed. One of the golden rules has been, I always say people say, Michelle, it's no good relapse. For us, there is a good relapse and a bad relapse. Any guys who you've interviewed earlier would tell you that a good relapse would be respecting the guys in the house because it's a trigger. If you relapse and you go in the house and the guys smell alcohol on you, the other guys can be triggered by that, and the whole house could go in array. So if someone do relapse, they respect the house and they do whatever they feel they need to do, and then they come back to the office and see me, and then we discuss what's happening, why it happened, and then we reach different goals, and then they go back to the house, and there's the group is formed and they discuss what happened, and everybody's involved. You just are not affecting yourself, you're affecting everybody in the house when that happens.
Okay, good. Thank you. And I want to once again thank all of the MAPS clients that came to our onto our show: Charles Bonner, Leo Moose, Jules Flett, and also the director Michelle Nicholsaw for being here to talk about the Phoenix House. As Michelle mentioned, it's not the only service, but definitely it's a key service for individuals who are looking at making a change in their life. This ends another segment of Family Matters. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Our show airs every second Wednesday. Until next time, I wish everyone well and stay safe. And thank you again for tuning in.
Thank you.